Hello everyone, Saul here, Ghost in the Gaslight, and this is a new series called The Gauntlet, because I'm going to throw down the gauntlet to myself and pick it back up, meaning I'm going to challenge myself to do something art-wise that I don't usually do. Kind of a fun new idea that I thought, hey, great way to start the new year. Last year, 2022, I didn't really get as much sketching done that I wanted to do. One of the things I'm usually doing is I'm painting or I'm inking, and if there's a pencil sketch, it's usually a hasty undersketch. And I have not really been going into the sketch pad and getting my pencil game going. Hey, let's start with that. One of the great things with this is I get to push things around, see what I'm gonna find. And before I get into that, I just wanna say, if you like the content on this channel, make sure you subscribe to it and hit the notification bell. That way, any new videos that come up, if it's a ghost story, an art class, or if it's one of these gauntlet videos, you will be the first to know when a new one comes up. Also, hit the like button and make sure that you leave a comment. There's some other topic you'd like me to cover, you'd like to see me draw, what have you. Always love hearing from you guys. Anyway, this one is a reference. It's based on a photograph that I found. And one of the things that attracted me to it was this gentleman in the photo. His head is turned away, you can't quite see, so it gave me a limited amount of touches to really get what's going on there. There's also his posture, there's the way the light is hitting him, there's also this lovely bench that he's sitting on. So it all presented some interesting challenges, and this was all about challenging myself. So that's what I was embarking on, and I'm excited to just show you a quick little time lapse. And I just kind of picked out some moments, talked through it, and if you learned something, great. If you enjoyed the video, great. I thought it might make for an interesting video because I knew I was going to run into some challenges, and I figured I could just talk through them and share that with you. So let's get into it. Okay, so here we go. This is the first step in the exercise being that I wanted to do things I don't usually do. I wanted to challenge myself. So the very first thing, as you can see, is this is a piece of paper that's been taped onto a canvas board. And one of the things that I usually do when I sketch is I'm just using my sketch pad. And the significance of this is that I couldn't just turn the page or just rip the page out if I made a mistake. Usually that's the case when you do a sketch pad. That's one of the beauties of it. But with this one, the stakes were, hey, if you screw this up, you got to untape this, you got to throw this away, you got to go cut another page, you got to tape it back. So right away, this was raising the stakes. I think my initial first strokes had a little more confidence in them than they usually do. Might be my imagination. But here I'm starting light with this pencil sketch so that I'm just getting a roadmap of where I'm going. I'm doing a rough estimate of where all the positions are going to be. One of the things with reference is it's one study of relationships after another. So you're looking at where everything is in relation to everything else, where the handle of that bench, where the armrest of that bench is in relation to his knee, or where his head is in relation to his shoulder. And it's kind of tricky. As you go along, you start going, oh, that shoulder's way off, or those shoes are sticking out, or those shins are too long, or that bench is doing something weird there. How do I crack the equation? And the answer that I find is that you just have to keep drawing it, and at some point you're just going to erase. But if you keep referencing, one of the marvelous things I find when that happens is the clues start coming. It's almost like in those crime dramas where you have the cop and they're looking at that board that's got all the photographs on it, and there's the tacks with the yarn that represent all the relationships, and they're just staring at it, and then they have that scene where it all just clicks and they just get an instinct that is just so strong they have to follow it. And I feel like that's what happens when you're doing reference, and you just keep looking, and all of a sudden something that was eluding you just starts popping up. And one of the things that drew me to this was making this bench. It just felt like so tricky, so complicated. The way the light falls on it, the perspective of the way the wood beams kind of fall away from you. And then there's the shirt, his posture. I think this gentleman might have had some back problems happening. So I wanted to try to capture that and not make it look like he's slouching. I want to communicate what I see, which is that there, were some difficulties with the back. And then as this really got going, I could just get into it and get into the details, which is the best feeling. And this is also where the eraser comes into play, where I just start to make certain things subtle and values and really make it feel like the light is kind of giving him a kiss there. And it was kind of tricky with this gentleman because his head is turned away. I can't give you his full-on face. I can only communicate what he's going through in his posture and a few touches on the face. And of course there's this beautiful ornate old bench that he's sitting on, has some history to it. And before I knew it, I had this sketch, and I feel like this presented some great challenges that had some great payoffs. I got to work with light, I got to work with character, I got to work with figure drawing, still life, and it felt like a great way to start 2023. And I look forward to doing more sketches. And this one is just about done. All in all, I would say this was about 2.5 to 3 hour sketch. And the eraser was the last touch to really kind of communicate the light, the little subtleties of light in there, though there's a lot of shadow on this individual. And that is the man on the bench. And thank you for watching. I just thought I would share that. I really wanted to make a sketch. I saw this photo and I just had to do it. And I thought I'd just have you along for the ride. And hope you enjoyed it. Maybe you even learned something. I know it was a fast one. And there you have it. Graphite, sketch, man on a bench. Also, make sure you hit the like button and leave me a comment. Always love hearing from you guys. I'm Saul. This is Ghost in the Gaslight, Gauntlet Edition. I'll see you on the next one.